Hello, this is Walter Yates, and today I'm speaking to Shaquawn Moore, who recorded the viral now called the Highlighter Man video. And since then, he has been sued by Elizabeth Fuller of the apartment complex for slander. And I appreciate him taking the time to speak to me today. And Shaquawn, can we go through basically what's happened and what led up to you being sued by Liz Fuller for recording her own words in public?
So really, I'm not being sued. I've been threatened by management at my apartment complex, and so recently, yeah, I just heard noises, heard two men arguing outside my window. Went to go check it out, and I thought it was something else because prior to this incident, two men were fighting against each other. So I thought it was something recurring. Now, with that being said, once I got a gist of what it was, I recognized, okay, this man is defending his children from a racist tenant, or at least that's what I thought it was. Key, that's what I thought it was. Now, with that, I go down, I get the further details from Mr. Nicholas himself, explaining that, we have a racist tenant living amongst us, and he personally called, from my belief, an off-duty security guard to come and escort, detain, and intimidate these children from playing in a public area in our apartment complex, which made me fairly upset because as me being in the military and fighting for, rights and justice and everything like that, so they claim to be, and then I come home and I see this shit, it makes me upset. Um, then I was like, you know what? I need to get both sides. I need to hear what management has to say about this. I need to let the people know, what is being done about this situation. Because after the video blew up, which I did not expect to, I was like, okay, everybody needs the full story because, in the news media outlets, you only get one side. And I go in the office, well, not in the office. I go into my front main office to ask to speak to management, which Liz Fuller stepped up to the situation. And I just asked her, did she know about anything that was going on? She claimed she did. And I said, so what are you going to do about it? She said, well, I don't believe that man is doing any of the said things that other tenants have been explaining to her. And then she goes all forth by saying that the kids are destroying the property. The kids are the problem. The kids are this, that, and the third. So I'm like, okay, I see where your head is at, lady. If this is the way you want to play this game, then by all means. So I posted her confessions in full detail about what she said to me and about other tenants as well, because she revealed that she was planning on evicting the parents of said children involved in the incident. And what do you know? Nicholas Kitchen gets an eviction notice placed on his door immediately after the incident. So she revealed to me about evicting two people, which violates FHA policies. Then it gets even worse because now this lady, she calls my roommates asking for my information. She then calls my wife. She then calls my first sergeant at my company. Then she calls my command sergeant major at my brigade, pleading, threatening, making demands about if I did not take down this video, she would sue me for slander. And she let that be known very clear. So okay, I was like, maybe I'm in over my head just a bit. Maybe that's what's going on. So I take it upon myself to go into that office and speak to her. And what do you know? Her and all her colleagues are having a get together discussing me and said Nicholas about the incident. I come in, I'm being mocked, and I was like, okay, this is the way they want to play this. I told her specifically, I came here to be civil with you, but I see that that's not what I'm going to get here. And she said, you know what you did was illegal? I said, I know what I did, and I know it's not illegal. I left it at that, and then I left that office, and I never returned. I did tell her in that moment that calling my chain of command in my place of work is illegal. If you're not doing it for credit checks or just good standing information that I have with my workplace, then you're not allowed to call them for personal matters. You need to go through proper channels to get that information. I let that be known, and she continued to call my chain of command, violating more and more policies, rules, regulations. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit upset. I'm mainly upset because I know this woman is full of shit, excuse my language, because I myself just recently had my very own son die in these very apartments. I've never seen those people come to my home. I never had a memo. I never had a condolence letter, nothing. And this is how I know this woman, or maybe even that full staff, don't give two damns about those children. They would allow an unmarked security card to come and regulate someone else's kid with intimidation, scare tactics, because today's world, that's all we see everywhere. Someone who feels like they have the power over someone else just because they're holding a gun. And she allowed this to happen on her very property. And henceforth, that so-called said security officer not received any repercussions. The said racist tenant has not received any repercussions. Liz Fuller herself has not seen any repercussions from Goodman Real Estate Company. But yet, myself and Nicholas are being attacked, ridiculed, and mocked, and threatened by this woman.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
Yeah, this is a serious situation, and then it doesn't, because when I spoke to Nick, his mother made it clear that she had contacted John Goodman Real Estate, and they're deciding not to get involved and help Nick, his family, you, anyone else, and they're just backing what the office is doing. That is a clear message that they just don't interested in fixing the problem. And you are, as you said, you're active duty in the military. You're active duty in the Army, correct?
Yes.
And your chain of command is not threatening you with any punishment, correct?
No. They said they would not step in unless legal action was actually taking place.
Okay, so so as of now, as you said, that she has not officially served you with any kind of slander, paperwork, or anything like that.
No, she's only been making demands and threats.
Okay.
Harassing me, if you will.
Are you considering any legal matters yourself, since she's contacting your chain of command outside of the law?
Yes, I am going to see my JAG office today. That's the military lawyer office, and then seeking civilian help as well.
Okay.
Filing a lawsuit for harassment.
And what do you want to see come out of this situation? Because it doesn't seem like that it's getting any better at this point.
One, I would like to see the eviction notice taken away from Mr. Nicholas Kitchen and his family, because there's no telling what kind of stresses you're putting on this man and his family. You know, once something like that happens, you're blacklisted. So there's no telling if this man is going to possibly find a new home for him and his family once this is taking place. And then after that, Mr. Kitchen leaves, I leave, because I plan on leaving soon as well. You know, what happens to these children? What happens to their families? What happens if she allows this man to stay there? What happens if she's still in management? You know, all these questions can arise. So then I'm like, you know what? Something does need to be done. The security guard needs to face punishment. The man who threw shit at children, used racial slurs, used his dog for intimidation, called an unmarked security guard, he needs to be evicted. And I would suggest he be charged with hate crimes. And then on top of that, that woman needs to be fired. Her license needs to be taken away. She is not fit to be managing anything if this is how she's going to be doing stuff.
Yeah, and she, because I also heard from Nick that there was a lot of allegations he's saying against the children there, and there's been no proof shown for anything. He
No,
told me a story about. Oh, go ahead.
There's nothing, sir. There is nothing. She threatened to shut down a public area for these kids. She threatened to have police officers be out here and guard said area. Both of those claims violate tenant policy. If it's not in the leasing agreement, then you cannot say things like that, nor can you do things like that.
Yeah, that's against fair housing regulations like that area, because I live in an apartment complex and we have an area, a big grassy area like that that's people who live here. That's not in anyone's own personal lease agreement that you're paying for this area, so it's open to all of us. So when that kind of a threat, and I mean, that should be taken seriously because as you said, like they're a unmarked guard that still don't even really know if he's a real security guard or not at this point. Showed up with a gun and handcuffs to threaten children. In the apartment complex, as far as everyone knows, we have not been able to find his name as of yet. For this tenant, nothing has happened to him, like at all. So
nothing. Me and Mr. Kitchen are the only ones that's being persecuted right now.
So yeah, that's, I don't know, if office listens to this, is there anything you directly want to say to them?
You know, really, I just hope that whoever, if it does happen, whoever takes this woman's place, that you know, it's a non-biased person, someone that's willing to hear both sides, someone who's willing to investigate something and not just let shit slide because, you know, either they're too lazy or they agree with one party only. You know, something really basic, something very moral, something very just. It's common, it can happen, but it's not hard to get.
Yeah, I mean, you're listening to the original video of your conversation with her. She openly admits to all of this, like openly, and was defending this guy. And when Nick went to make a formal complaint, they kept saying there are no complaint forms in the office, and they had.
She won't let him make a complaint. She's not letting him build any evidence of a complaint.
So it's really, yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like they're trying to protect the tenants there at all, which is a bit unfortunate, especially since this one guy seemingly is the center of all the issue right now. So I definitely appreciate you talking about this, and I will definitely be following up to see what is happening and to keep bringing attention to this.
Thank you so much. And also myself, I've started a petition for both me and Mr. Kitchens on change.org. So basically to help evict the racist tenant, to fire Mrs. Fuller, to stop the eviction on him, and to halt any proceedings with a lawsuit against me.
And that will be, I will make sure to have that included in the article as well. So we will definitely be following up and keeping an eye on this, because this is definitely not how this is supposed to be administered in the United States of America. So I will definitely keep my eyes on this.
Thank you, sir. I really do appreciate that.
No problem at all. And we'll be in touch with you and to see what's happening. And again, appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about this.
No problem. No problem at all.